Minecraft Steve in competitive Smash is completely broken in every sense of the word. And when I say broken, I mean he's legitimately ruined the game for so many people that for the first time he's being banned in a lot of regional tournaments. Here's why. Alright, if Minecraft Steve ruins your day, then our merch might make it better. We've got a whole new range of carefully crafted esports apparel, including my absolute favourite, the Touch Grass hoodie, and it goes pretty well with touching actual grass. Trust me. So Steve from Minecraft was added to Smash in October 2020, and his time so far has not gone as smoothly as other additions to the game. We did a video in July last year about the Smash community getting wound up by Steve in competitive play. He was just too strong. His ability to throw up protective blocks, his minecart side special, his down air anvil, his diamond tools, his TNT down special, and gigantic magma block were just some of his kit that made him so frustrating to play against.
Down throw. Jab, 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 jab. This is... No, dude! What in the world is this?
At the time, there was some muted calls for him to be banned, but nothing too widespread. Just this past week though, that all changed. Why? Well, the short answer is he has a game-destroying glitch. It's called PMLG, aka the ability to ignore hit stuns. These clips from Connor Carried on Twitter were among the first to show the exploit in action. He credited DarsM9 for its discovery. This was soon followed by a detailed explanation from Excedo on how to perform the exploit, using a glitch to create a phantom block before being hit by a move that doesn't result in tumble will let Steve recover from an attack before the attack animation of his opponent has ended. Essentially, Steve can use this glitch to escape any combo and then perform combos of his own, which his opponent has no ability to counter. If an opponent does manage to hit Steve at low percentages, which in itself is an achievement, the bug actually punishes them for it. Now, nobody likes to throw around the ban word lightly. If there is a way to deal with these kind of glitches without having to remove an entire character from the game, most people would prefer that option. But part of the issue here is that Nintendo ceased all balance support for Smash Bros. Ultimate at the end of 2021. That means no hotfix is on the way. Help isn't coming in the same way it would if this happened in another esport. Smash data analyst Bernard's Loop wrote a twit longer arguing for a specific tech ban, saying lower level players are unlikely to use this glitch and high level players wouldn't try it while under constant tournament vigilance, so therefore a ban on only the glitch itself would be relatively easy to enforce. But a lot of people disagree with this, especially given the difficulty of monitoring online events that require time-consuming VOD reviews to enforce move-specific bans like this. Many felt the only option here was a total ban on Steve in tournaments, and at the end of February, those bans began rolling in. One after the other, tournament organizers across the US deemed the exploit too much to allow Steve as a choice for competitors. Even pros weighed in on why these bans are needed.
This technique absolutely needs to be banned. Like 100%. And if you for some reason don't think this technique should be banned, I really think that means you should ban Steve.
Dang it, man. My whole scene's dying. My scene dead. It's because of Steve. Oh well, we should have banned him. Like, bro, like, just do it.
The number of US states which had seen partial or total bans of Steve grew in the following days. It was a question that every regional Smash community had to grapple with. It felt like it all came to a head a week ago when Hungrybox announced Steve had been officially banned at his Coinbox event for the foreseeable future.
And so I would like to announce that until further notice, the Coinbox will be banning Steve from all future Ultimate events. We go into this thinking that this is what the right call is and something that has been long overdue. And I think PMLG was the straw that really broke the camel's back.
Hungrybox was keen in his video to let everyone know that ultimately bans of this nature are up to the discretion of individuals, regions, and tournament organizers. There's no unifying rule set for Smash, but at the same time, there's no smoke without fire. It's safe to say that if dozens of smaller tournaments are removing Steve from the pool, including the influential Coinbox, we'll likely see majors follow suit. And despite the tournament bans, the debate is far from over here. There's still going to be people that say the glitch isn't prevalent enough or that we don't don't really know how it will affect the scene. Essentially, that this is all a bit too hasty. And while there may be merit to that, most TOs are simply banning him out of an abundance of caution. They don't want to risk him and this glitch completely wrecking their event. And you can't really blame them. It's not like the community hasn't been burned by something like this before. Back in 2012, there was a temporary blanket ban on Meta Knight in competitive Brawl, owing to his absurd speed and aerial abilities, which completely invalidated most of the cast. Some are pointing to that and saying Meta Knight was far more dominant than Steve was, or even is right now with this glitch. But pro player Larry Lurr, who played some Meta Knight back on Brawl, firmly disagrees.
One of the arguments I know people are going to make is that Steve's results aren't nearly as dominant as Meta Knight's was in Brawl. And my explanation to this is that's true, and I don't think it will ever be that way for two reasons. The first one is that Steve was not part of the base game roster. I think if he was, people would more immediately know how overpowered he was, and the vast majority of players would be using him as a main or secondary similar to Meta Knight. The second one is that most of the top players do not use him and don't want to. Regardless of how overpowered you feel Meta Knight was in Brawl, the fact of the matter is the majority of the players getting results with him at major events were talented players.
Ultimately, these kind of bans give the competitive scene some time and breathing room to assess the real danger that this kind of glitch represents. Sure, many people have already made their minds up and are happy to see these Steve bans, and as we've seen in this video, there's certainly a case for that. But that doesn't necessarily mean we'll never see him again. There are still tournaments out there that are going to allow him, and even some that might revert their ban if they see data that suggests perhaps he's not as much of a threat to the competitive integrity as they first thought. As frustrating as this all is, it comes part and parcel with a game that's no longer receiving balance updates, and Steve, a broken character with a game-shattering bug, is simply the latest victim of this reality. It's just funny to me that like the character that's causing all this like chaos and argument and debate isn't some like, you know, demon from some like crazy fantasy game. It's just Steve from Minecraft. It's just that it was a character that was never really meant to fight. He was never really meant to be a character. He was just, you know, the default skin if you enjoyed digging and building.